What's going on, YouTube? This is another episode of Zam Sports. We got breaking news dealing with the NBA. As you guys been seeing, around this time, usually around January, a little bit early into February, we have an exciting time during the NBA. As you guys know, dealing with the trade deadlines, right? So we had a lot of major trades that was happening today. As you guys see here on the screen, the major one of today, guys, actually was James Harden being traded from the Los Angeles Clippers to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, like, really, what's going on? We gotta discuss this, y'all, because this is very interesting. Not only dealing with this trade, but there were also a few more major trades. So James Harden, right, was traded for Darius Garden and also a 2026 second round pick. All right. So we're going to dive deep into this just for a few minutes, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to figure out, drop your comments and let me know once we go through this, who do you feel won the trade today? Because when you're dealing with trades, obviously you're dealing with trying to make an impact, trying to make some type of positive impact on your team to push for that stretch run of the season, which is what we're actually going into. So, as you guys see, we're going to get more information, right? So, James Harden traded to the Clippers. We can't make this stuff up. What else we got here, right? So, as we see, this is breaking news from Shams Sharana, right? An NBA insider who says that the Los Angeles Clippers are trading James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland and a second round pick. Sources tell ESPN prolific swap of the star point guards, right? So, of course, you got a lot of people on the internet, you know what I mean, that's just going to go ahead, and make fun of this stuff, man, because when you're dealing with the history of James Harden, if you guys do follow basketball, James Harden has been on many teams, but he has been an established star in the league, right, for over a decade. So as we see here, right, this was one of the first major trades really since 2020. He's literally been on four different teams since 2020. So you got Complex Sport that's saying James Harden has reportedly informed the Rockets that he wants out and is pushing a trade to Brooklyn. Now this is 2020, guys. All right, that only lasted 2 years. Then you get to 2022, he's with the Brooklyn Nets. All right, and he's asking for a trade. 2023 with the Philadelphia 76ers asking for a trade. Now, that season, I will say, was an injury filled season dealing with Joel Embiid being out. They weren't even really able to play together. Paul George was also in that mix. They weren't able to play together, all three of them. They tried to form a big three because really that's what's been the format if you want to at least have a championship run or have some type of a dynasty. Either you need to have two major stars and maybe saying a third, saying option, or you have three major stars with role players surrounded around them. And then here we have in 2026, as we're talking about today, right? We got James Harden literally being traded, you know what I'm saying, to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So again, guys, right? He's always informed them that he's the one that wants to be traded. And we got to start looking at this because it's like things have changed when it comes to the goal, when it comes to what is it that you're really in this for, right? And a lot of it has changed because of the salary cap, because of the max contracts. And a lot of players, it seems like they're just more interested in where the bag is actually at. Because for you to be a perennial all-star, right? And he's already established himself. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Let's just keep it 100. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. He's probably going to end up being second behind Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to 3 points, field goals of all time, right? He's going to end up being in the Hall of Fame. He's already established a Hall of Fame career without having to win an NBA championship. But the point is that for the last 4 years, he hasn't been happy, whether that's dealing with management, whether that's dealing with the organization, whether that's dealing with coaching, whether that's dealing with teammates, right? but it starts to become repetitive. Okay. And I truly believe at this point, like from what I'm seeing, like, okay, you left the Clippers. And as we look at the actual standings, I want to look at the standings real quick, right? As we look at the standings, right, let's just look at the Eastern Conference. Okay. Now, I know that the Cavaliers, right, are fifth. As we see, the Pistons have been running rampant, right? They're still running off of that energy that they had last year, right? Shout out to Cade Cunningham and those boys, man, right? But you got the Cavaliers sitting at five. So actually, the Cavs are sitting at a very comfortable position from what we're seeing. Now the question is with James Harden being added to the mix, Darius Garland being taken away from the mix, what type of dynamic is that going to have? Because the Cavaliers still have uh, Donovan Mitchell, their perennial star. And we've seen James Harden take a back seat over the past few years as far as playing with Embiid, as far as playing with Kawhi Leonard. We see that James Harden can take the back seat, initiate the offense, run the point guard, and then when his teammates are not having a good night or things are not in a good flow, he definitely can turn it on and give you a cool 30, or give you a cool 40 even. So the dynamic is very interesting to see how that's going to work out between Donovan Mitchell and James Harden because James Harden actually needs the ball. He's not the type of player to actually come off screens, right, or move without the basketball, right? And to prove that, right, let's look at some of his game, right? Let's look at this right here. All right, let's check this.
Seriously, he's always been ahead of the curve.
All right, look at this. So we see here, right? That's his signature step back right there. All right. Right. He's a very good distributor. I will say that. Very good with the floater. A lot of his moves, though, are isolation moves, not off the basketball. Okay. And the elite scorers do not need to be off the basketball to be able to create a shot for themselves or to get a bucket. So don't get it twisted. James Harden is a career bucket. But this is my question. Donovan Mitchell, how is that going to work? Right? How is that going to work? That's the question. How is that going to work? Because Donovan Mitchell, as you guys see, the league is changing. The shooting guard position is now becoming the standard at 6'6" through 6'8", where Donovan Mitchell is at 6'3", 6'4". So we're going to watch this again. I don't really know how this dynamic is going to work, especially on defense, because really Harden is still a defensive liability. So it's going to be a lot of scoring, I'll tell you that. But as far as on the defensive end, they're actually losing a lot of grit because I'll give Darius Garland that credit. He is a smaller point guard, but Darius Garland is up in those offensive players' face, man, right? He's up in the point guard's face. He's up in the shooting guard's face, right? He has decent defense. And Harden has been known to not have good defense. So it's going to have to be a lot of scoring. But the thing is that when you are dealing, right, as we look at these standings again, when we're dealing with the standings, when we're dealing with teams like the Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks, right, and even the Celtics without Jason Tatum are still sitting at number 3. These teams have very good defenses, okay? And so they're going to be able to send matchups against the Cleveland Cavaliers if they end up meeting in the playoffs, the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're going to end up sending matchups, you know what I'm saying, at James Harden and at Donovan Mitchell. And at times we've seen throughout this year that Donovan Mitchell has had off games whenever a perennial defender is actually guarding him. So we got to keep these things in perspective. Right. Shout out to the chat, y'all. What's going on? Shout out to my guy, Gang Blitz with Izzy Six up in the building. Make sure you guys subscribe to my brother's channel. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple people in the background. I'm gonna bring them up in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I got some guests getting ready to come on. Matter of fact, we're just gonna bring them on now. I want to hear their thoughts on this. I'm gonna bring my guys up on here. Y'all bear with me. This is the first live. Got my brother Izzy in the building and Stephen Afani walking in the building. How y'all feeling?
What's good, Kings? What's good? All praises, all
Hey,
praises.
so look at this. So shout out to my brother Azaria, man. He said, I think it's a bad deal because no matter where Harden goes, he just can't seem to get a chip. And
Ah,
and that's and that's funny that he said that because I was gonna allude to that before I brought you guys on as far as what I was going into. But the stuff that I was talking about, what do y'all got to say? I want to hear y'all thoughts, man, and y'all opinions.
man, I think James Harden acting like a diva right now, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. He acting like a diva right now, man. What, you in your 30s now, bro? And you still talking about getting traded? Like, come on, man. Okay,
I
so
want
you
to say, hey,
16.
bro, I want to say he's 35, right? 35, 36,
Yeah,
something up there.
yeah.
Yeah,
And this man
that's
is averaging 25 points per game. This is the 16th stat in the NBA, bro. In the NBA. But your
right.
defense is trash, bro. We know this.
And to be honest, like, you know what I'm saying, Evan Mobley's kind of having an off year um compared to what he had last year. Right? He had a an all-star year last year and he's really been struggling in the paint as far as defending the paint as far as guards coming in the paint, with the floaters, with the layups, with the dunks, things of that nature or even the kick out. And so um adding James Harden, like I said, it's going to be some scoring. Don't get it twisted. But don't
Yes.
be surprised if you see a lot of their games moving forward, leading into the Eastern Conference playoffs in the 120s and the 130s on average. But what
See,
do you think? What do you think, Izzy? What do you think, Izzy?
I'm trying to wait for this dude to get on the stage for me to come right here, but I'm gonna mute it right quick. But
Oh, no,
no,
you
I'm gonna be.
good.
I'm a big James Harden fan. I ain't gonna count. I would say this here, right?
Yep.
oh man.
I do agree with you. I agree with a lot of stuff you're saying, but I do feel like that time. That's like James Harden. I understand he do choke sometimes. Like that game he had against the Spurs when he dropped 11, and you had that other game. But I would say this: that nigga did take that Golden State team to a game 7, and if Chris Paul wasn't hurt, we don't know if he would have got there. He had some big games
Oh,
in the
okay,
Rockets.
okay.
Now
So
that time when KD got injured. Now I know he could have. I still hold that series against him, but it did dictate the flow of that game because like they had a game plan different. I hold that game against him, but I didn't see Harden. He didn't. It's kind of like the shit with LeBron. They didn't win up against some good teams, and a lot of people give him a lot of more smoke than he was. But when I seen them play, like he knock off the teams he's supposed to knock off. But when like for example, that team when they played Golden State. If Chris Paul wouldn't have got hurt, we don't know if he would have been in the finals.
That's a great point. No, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because that game 7 was key, right? We seen the momentum changing. I don't know if you guys remember, but the momentum actually changed in that series in game 4 to where Houston pretty much had the momentum the entire time. And the chemistry between Chris Paul and James Harden, right, worked out because we all thought that it wasn't going to work out. But that was the first time that we started to see where Chris Paul actually took the back seat and allowed James Harden to be the front runner. So it ended up working out. But yes, I will say that I do agree with you that, if that injury did have a major impact. But at the same time, though, right? At the same time, who on the Golden State Warriors, right? During that time of James Harden when he was in his prime, right, could stop him because that same year James Harden was putting up consistent numbers in the 60s. He damn near, you know what I'm saying, was going for a record. So,
Right.
You're doing this type of stuff during the regular season, right? You're paid the big bucks. This is the time, you know what I'm saying, to solidify yourself, you know what I
Right,
mean,
you right, you right.
as a perennial champion. But you
That's
definitely make
true.
good points. But go ahead.
No, that's true. That's true. Like I said, because he could have stepped up and just like nigga drop 60 when you supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
like just go crazy. But I do feel like because it's like you got certain niggas that have like let's just say who that guy is when he had like I think Devin Booker one time had like 8 points in a closeout game when they played Luka Doncic and them and just got blasted.
Right.
He does still contain a certain consistency of it, but he takes it to another level sometimes. But like for example, he'll drop a 30-point game, but then he'll come back and not play it as efficient. So I do agree with you with that. Now, I would say this about, I heard what you were saying about Brooklyn, and I would say this here. James Harden in that series actually got hurt, and he popped his hamstring. And then Kyrie, they were smoking Milwaukee in game 2, and they were blowing him out. But then Kyrie Irving got hurt. And so I think that Brooklyn team, because they had to play, the sorry-ass Hawks the next round, I think that Brooklyn team, but if James Harden got hurt and you see the hamstring was bothering him, now he's stupid as hell for leaving Brooklyn. That was dumb as hell for him to leave Brooklyn. And if you still had that two-pad team, but I would say, how would you feel about when Kyrie went down? You think would you agree that shift the momentum of that series because Brooklyn was up 2-0?
I do. Well, this is the thing. I agree with you. I want to get Stephen and Fannie Walker's thoughts too. Right. To answer that question, of course, when you're dealing with sports, right? When you're dealing with any type of series, even with football, injuries have a major play. We're getting an example of that even in the current NFL playoffs, to where injuries have had a significant impact on who's advancing, right, and the success of the team. So there were a lot of teams, and I agree that Brooklyn team, you know what I'm saying, they definitely were moving. They definitely were moving. But I only think that they would have made it to the finals, you know, if injuries did not take place. I don't think they would have ended up winning the actual finals, dealing with the power that was on the Western Conference.
No, bro.
I feel like James Harden's best chance to win a championship was when they had Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook together, you know what I'm saying, at OKC.
I agree.
Because that was when James Harden actually started to solidify himself as a star, because he was carrying a lot of the load that Russell Westbrook wasn't able to carry in the series with OKC in that finals during the Miami Heat.
To be honest with you, I don't think he solidified himself as a star yet until he went to Houston. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But as far as like him actually coming off the bench, I think that he was solidifying himself as pretty much a great six man, you know? But at the same time, when it comes down to James Harden, man, y'all talking about all of these other different things that happened in the playoffs. But then again, what about the numbers that he was putting up on defense, though? See?
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but dealing with this trade, though, do you feel, Stephen Afani Walker, that this trade can move the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Because as we're seeing right here, right? I'm going to share this again.
I don't know why it's not.
So look at this. We got Cleveland at 5. They're at 30-21. Okay, but you got the Pistons all the way at 37-12. We at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and say that the Pistons are going to go ahead and win it all out and be the top team in the Eastern Conference leading into the playoffs. But do you think that Cleveland can make a playoff push to move up in the standings to maybe the third or the second with this James Harden trade?
It depends what type of James Harden we going to get, man. It depends, bro, because sometimes we get the James Harden that falls out in the playoffs, and then the other times, bro, we get the James Harden that we know we can get, you know? So it just depends on which James Harden is gonna show up this year. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, real I'm gonna cut it off. He just said something about I know you said about the James Harden fan, right? Now I'm a Lakers, I'm a LeBron fan, but this is what I would say. I would say that the league was actually harder back there with Golden State, because we could agree that LeBron James, that team when Kevin Durant won't do that weak ass move and go to the Golden State Warriors, and they wasn't beating them, like that was a weak ass move. And LeBron averaged a triple double in the finals, and he still couldn't get the job done. So I believe the West was really most stacked back in the day, where you wasn't getting past Golden State, like with that, because like you said, we could make the cases for. I know, like Jamar said, with the injuries, like Kevin Durant, the Toronto would have won a championship. But I mean, that team was stacked anyways. Even with James Harden winning that like I said, the year that James Harden took that Golden State team to Game 7, Chris Paul was out. He popped his hamstring. So it's like I can't hold him accountable on every single series, because if we would have seen that game, we don't know what the hell could have went down in Game 7. Now, I do realize he does underperform sometimes as well as efficiency. You know, same shit with Luke. Like, he might throw up a lot of shots, might miss some stuff, but I'm not gonna say he played just terrible, like in the playoffs, like overall over his career. Like, cause Brooklyn, like, niggas got hurt. Like, them niggas, Kyrie got hurt.
Right.
That's
Izzy, I'm
true.
not saying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he was horrible every single playoff series. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that where he lacks in efficiency, he should definitely be able to progress every single year. So let me ask you this, right?
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Everybody keeps talking about LeBron James, right? And how LeBron is sustaining his body, he's sustaining his health. And he look at LeBron, he dunking at age 42, right? But then
Yeah.
we look at all of these other different superstars that could be able to do the same thing, but it doesn't show, bro. It doesn't show at all. And I'm
Wait,
not
you said
saying that
who
James
was your
Harden
knock
should
again?
take a
No, I think what he's saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because this is kind of what I'm feeling too, is that what is the point of you even requesting, right, for a trade at the age of 35, 36?
right.
Okay, which we can see dealing with father time and also dealing with history, that usually when you get around that age at the position that he's actually at, you are already on a decline. You're not in your prime. And if you
Exactly.
and let's look at the stats real quick, because if we look at the stats, let me pull this up, right? Let me pull this up, because if we look at some of these stats, right? Let's look at James Harden's average.
Why you pulling up those stats? I can say something right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like you said, when they were talking about it was an extension, they didn't want to give him the extension and playing. Now, I think the Kawhi Leonard shit, him going to skipping out and dissing LeBron James and going to the Clippers was the worst move he could make, because you just left Toronto off a championship and you want to disrespect LeBron and go there. And then you got James Harden. Like, these dudes, Clippers been contenders for since this nigga got there. And now, like, I think he got sick of the shit. Like, dude, y'all doing all this, and this dude can never stay. Kawhi can never stay injured, hurt. But now him and Donovan Mitchell will be a fool in that backcourt, because he looked like he came back to regular Harden, prime Harden.
Oh yeah.
But you're gonna need. So I guess it all depends on Evan Mobley, right? Evan Mobley has to get back to the all-star status that he was last year in order to make that a big three. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, a lot of their game, maybe not James Harden, but Donovan Mitchell, his game is predicated off of slashing, right, and getting straight to the lane. Right? He's not the shooter. He's not the shooter that James Harden is. Right now, James Harden, I feel, is a better creator of his own shot than a Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell needs a little bit more, a lot more screens, right? Back cuts and things of that nature. So it really depends on Evan Mobley, because he's not shooting that good at all from the three-point line this year. And you're going to need Evan Mobley to actually spread out, right, to the corner, spread out to the top of the key, to create space for Donovan Mitchell and for James Harden to be able to create and work to create for others or for themselves.
Because you're right, because I know James Harden can create and get. I think James Harden can create and get a lot of people involved as well. That's what's the strength of his game. And it was real weird to see how he just took a dip when he went to Philadelphia. But then you see the nigga sometimes drop 40 and 50. Now, I don't think that Cleveland gonna still be favorite. I still kind of got Boston coming out there, which was stupid. I don't know why the hell they traded Alfred Simons, but I got the Thunder probably coming out.
That was crazy.
I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a Lakers fan, but I like SJ and the Thunder. Now, I will say this because my bad, I don't want to get off topic. I like what you're doing, Sam. I ain't gonna lie. This is a dope page, and your brother that you got on here. What's up, brother? I will say this because I'm on my list right now. I'm gonna come check back in.
Look, y'all. I just started this page yesterday. I didn't even know I was allowed to go live.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
All praises, bro. All praises.
Yeah, I thought you had to have 100. So look real quick though. So let's check this out while I got y'all up on here. Right, we already checked out some of his highlights. Right, I'm gonna let's listen to what the negativity, because this is the narrative that's been pushed on James Harden for years. So let's check this out.
Pipe this into the Clippers locker room so I can talk to you, James. I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom I'm about to spew. Because listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, brought in Mike D'Antoni. You wanted to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You want to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night. They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal, Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And all after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say after? You didn't hand me the ring. You were holding.
Hey,
Should I make his ass
yeah,
John? Should
Let
I
me
make
pause it. Yeah, y'all remember that? Y'all remember that from a few years ago?
I will say this right quick, John, because I'm finna get off, finish doing my show, and I'm gonna try to come back on if you still live. I'm live right now. But look, let me ask you.
I'm not gonna be. Shout out. Make sure you guys subscribe to my guy's channel, man. He be live.
I'm telling people in my chat to subscribe to you, bro. But look, I will say this before I go. I want to make a request because I like this that you're doing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, dog, and I want y'all to really hear this. What I'm gonna say. That overrated motherfucker Nikola Jokic. Gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. This motherfucker cannot play basketball. I got it. And listen, I'm gonna tell you what they do. And I say this with no racism when I say this up here, because I know there's got people up here. They do so much for the European to try to make the white man look like
no. This is the Zam Sports Channel. This is not.
No. That's not what no, I'm not saying it. I'm not. That's why I say I'm not saying it with no racism. I'm not being biased, right? We do all people. I'm saying as far as the Luka Doncic, right? You know that white boy, he could play basketball. But what they doing for him and what your guy name is? The Jokic guy, bro. This dude, I never seen a 7-footer that can't play defense. This nigga got bounced twice in the second round, and they still talking about he the best player in the world, and he got a defensive rating of 113. That is a horrible rating to have a defensive rating of 113. It's supposed to be 103 or below. But you expose a nigga when you put that OKC put that defense on him. And all I'm saying is, I'm not going to say I said with no racism. I'm just saying sometimes they try to overhype these other players or whatever to try to make it seem like they better than what they not.
Are you specifically speaking about overseas players? Because that's been floating around, right? That overseas players are starting to be more developed in that they're taking over the United States basketball.
That's true. International, whether they white or not. That's why I'll say it with no racism. I'm not saying it to be racist, y'all. I'm saying what they're doing is trying to allow these players to, and we know they could be white or black, but we saying they're making them to be the face because they want to try to get rid of certain faces, which don't make no sense. Like Anthony Edwards, SGA should be the face right now. The dude didn't put niggas to sleep in the playoffs, bro. Like on a heater. He got the best statistical season since Michael Jordan. And I love SGA. I'm a Thunder fan as well. But what they're doing to LeBron James, trying to slowly get him out. Now, Zam, you a Kobe fan, right? We know Kobe.
Die-hard Laker fan. Kobe is my favorite player of all time.
They didn't have no success since LeBron got there. So why all the Lakers fans trying to get LeBron out there so fast? It wasn't LeBron that was the problem. It was the sorry-ass rebuilding that they did when they let go.
I can answer that. Let me answer that. The reason The reason being is because as time moves forward, right, the game advances, right? Just like knowledge advances. You understand? And so we got a lot of these guys, right, that are growing up, like my son, you understand, who's able to just literally hold the phone and have access, right, to highlights, have access to his favorite players, have access, you know what I'm saying, to basketball at all times, to where me and you, right, Izzy and Steven, we had to hope that we would get out of church on time to go catch a game on Sunday, you know what I'm saying, and a Jordan game, you know what I'm saying, and we probably caught the third quarter. So since 2000, I want to say since 2008, right, moving on forward, access, right, to the game has been more accessible than ever before. So now you have the game advancing, right? You got a lot of different movements, right? You got a lot of moves that's happening right now that will be called travels back then. So with the game advancing, the reason why that LeBron is still, you know what I'm saying, in the league right now, right? And that that he's in the league and that they're trying to shit on him, is because of the simple fact that LeBron has found a way to involve his game as the game evolves, right?
Okay.
So you have the NBA. They got stars. You mentioned you got Ja Morant, right? You got Anthony Edwards, right? You got SGA, right? You got plenty potential stars that they can actually make the face of the league. Luka Doncic, things of that nature.
Right.
But none of those names are bigger than LeBron. So what is the way, right?
Okay, yeah.
What is the way to try to take the distraction, to take the attention off LeBron, right? So that they can make the shift for the other players, is you start painting false narratives, right? Or negative narratives, you know what I'm saying, against LeBron. Start saying, you know what I'm saying, that, oh, well, the Lakers, Austin Reeves is averaging around 30 points a game, you know what I'm saying? How is it going to look like when LeBron comes back? Those type of narratives.
Yeah.
And shout out to LeBron James, because what he's doing right now, to be honest, you know what I'm saying, he's not going to say it, but we can talk about it here on Zam Sports. But what LeBron James is doing, you know what I'm saying, and he's my age, you know what I'm saying, we graduated the same year, so I came up with him in a way. So what he's doing right now is he's capitalizing for his sons. Once he gets Bryce James in the league, he's going to retire.
Hey, your son, hey, I ain't gonna lie. I seen that video. I didn't know you could ball like that, Zam. You cold, but your son, who your son play for? I think he cold.
He the starting point guard for Decatur High School out here in Washington.
With y'all on your page,
in the league. So he be against Tyron Stokes is out here, the number 1 ranked high school basketball player in the nation.
Oh well,
with JJ Crawford at Rainier Beach. So I literally stay about probably about 20 minutes away from Rainier Beach.
Yeah, he going to the NBA. He got moved.
That's what's up right there.
I don't know if he goes to the NBA. I don't know if he's going to the NBA. I just want that. I just want him to go to D.
You gotta believe that, bro.
That's what I'm saying, but you gotta strive for that, bro.
Hey, look,
make it, bro. Shit, Zam, I'm surprised your ass in the NBA. You got a bag on you too, nigga.
Right. My voice was better than my ball skills, y'all.
You got a bag, bro. You got a bag, kid. But this is good though, because you just hype him up in the media. I'm glad we is doing this, but I would say this here, because I'm gonna get off here. We got to talk about Nikola Jokic one time, dog. Whenever you do something else, but that dude is overrated, bro.
What we'll do is this. We'll do this, man. I sent you just email me zamsports84@gmail.com.
Okay.
Just send me the email. You know what I'm saying? Send me your. I lost your phone number too, bro. So send me your phone number in there too, and then we'll just set up. You know what I'm saying? A live discussion. You know what I'm saying? Debate. Because I actually, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with you. So we can definitely have a debate.
Man.
I can show you why Jokic is that guy, man. You can know this too.
He can't get out the second. It's a reason. Listen, Zam, it's a reason the nigga couldn't get out the second round twice. Because when you put that defense on him, the Timberwolves got bodies to throw at him. And I know this because when I played basketball at a high level, I used to play for Louisiana Heat. I was a high level defender. When you put defense on a nigga why you think Jordan could never get past the bad boy Pistons? He couldn't get past them, dude, because they actually played defense.
We're talking about a different time. We're talking about it. Yeah, that's a different. We're talking about Bill Laimbeer, whooping ass. That's a whole different time.
Damn, Oklahoma City plays that Pistons form of defense, and when you actually play defense, you can expose a nigga. If you actually play D on somebody, you can expose them. And that's why when you put Alex Caruso on him, he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do nothing. He got bounced. He got bounced in the semifinal twice. Twice he got bounced. He's not better than no SGA.
It wasn't. But we got to realize that if you go back and look at that series, it wasn't just Alex Caruso that was just literally guarding him one-on-one. By the time that Jokic got close to the lane after backing him down, he got a double team and the help.
But in game 7, they adjusted. They particularly put him. I went back and watched him, particularly I'm gonna put him on him. And Jokic had 6 turnovers.
We're gonna go over that film when we talk about it. We're gonna go over the film.
I can't wait.
Okay. I just don't like him not getting the credit that he deserved because, like, dude is on a heat. He's gonna win the second MVP, and we just acting like this dude.
Are you talking about SGA? You're talking about SGA.
SGA is
right?
the best player in the NBA to me.
You really think he's the best player in the NBA?
No,
We're talking about one-on. So when we roll the basketball out, we're talking one-on-one, right? Let's go with size. SGA 6'6", about what 190, 195, 200, right?
I'd say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 6'6". So we got size on him, right?
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Let's go one-on-one. Let's go one-on-one. SGA against Anthony Edwards. SGA against the LaMelo Ball. SGA. I'm talking about guys in his same size. We're not talking about team success. We're not talking about how he plays with the team. We're talking about when you're talking about the best player in the league, right? When you talk to former NBA players, they go based off skill.
Okay, but can I ask you this question? Don't you believe that basketball is supposed to be played on both sides of the ball? Michael Jordan, Kobe, Kevin Durant. I can't consider nobody the greatest in no era of this. If you can't play, you only got one skill. It's a skill to not be able to play one side of the ball. That's why Luka Doncic hopefully he can win the championship if he got with Ron. But what happened in that Celtics game when Jaylen Brown locked him down? He couldn't guard a Paul Call. What I'm saying is, in order to
when you look, Izzy, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when you look, go back and look at those games. I want you to watch who SGA is guarding on the defensive end. He's not guarding the best player majority of the night.
If he was to guard him, he would put the clamps on him because he could play both sides of the ball. SGA was leading the steals. I think he does because if you put Caruso on him, right? You know Caruso's a better defender. SGA is a two-way player. The defense, just like when you go look at the defensive ratings for Oklahoma City, Kasem Wallace, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hardenstein, and Lou Dort, these guys are top 5. That's why I say when you actually play that Sonics, Gary Payton type defense, and it can, when I'm saying it's crazy, I say this, but they got the blueprint to beat them because they actually play the game how it's supposed to be played. People cheat the game now. They don't want to play defense no more. It's all about shooting threes, which is fun and fantastic. But if you can lock the other player down, that shows you, nigga, you ain't gonna get past me. I'm gonna put these clamps on you. I'm gonna put the clamps on him. That's why he can't out the second round.
You got some great points on that. Yeah. We definitely seen that last year, right? Dealing with the finals, but every year is a different year. We're gonna see. What I want to see from SGA, right? Before I call him the best player in the league coming this playoffs, right? Let's look at this. Let's go back, right? And let's look at the standings. Okay, let's go back and look at the standings. Right. Okay. So as we look at the standings, okay, if the playoffs were to start today, all right, as we look at the Western Conference standings, you would have the Thunder playing, if we're just gonna say the Warriors, right, at the 8th seed. Okay. So you mean to tell me that SGA is going to shut down Steph Curry? SGA, that's not going to happen. He's not going to guard him.
No.
When we know that Steph Curry's game is all predicate off of off screens, ball screens, right? He moves without the basketball, and you know what Steph Curry can do at this same at 36 with the ball in his hands. SGA don't got it.
They're not going nowhere, man. The Warriors haven't been relevant. And that's another thing with the Golden State thing. If you go back, even the Denver championship, let me go back real quick. When you go to the
I'm saying if the playoffs started now, they will be playing the Warriors. We're talking about SGA being in the You're saying that SGA is the best player in the league due to playing both sides of the basketball. Now, statistically, it definitely shows that SGA plays both sides of the basketball. But when you're actually watching the games, right, and we're going to go over some film next time we go over this as far as dealing with Jokic or SGA, because I like this. You know what I'm saying?
I like this. I can't wait to the playoffs. I like this.
When you actually go and look at the film, You're not, and SGA, you're not going to see SGA guarding the perennial star on the opposite team because what you said, he has a Lou Dort, he has a Alex Caruso, he has all these other guys, right, that are not complimentary on the offensive end because they need SGA to at least score 25 to 30 points or up, right, in order for them to have success. So yes, you want to take off on defense. I'm not saying that SGA is not a good defender because he is. But when we're talking about the likes of Jordan, like Jordan went and guarded that man. Like we seen Jordan and John Starks.
Right, he went and got hit.
Right? We seen Kobe and McGrady go at it. Right?
But they play two different positions. He got the top of the key, and then you got Jokic as play center. So if they got Chet Holmgren to lock him down. Because what I'm saying is this, if you that nigga, you're going to explode for 50. Why Jokic can't go for them 50-point, 60-point game when it matters the most? He's throwing badass passes. And I'm not saying this, what I'm saying. He's overrated because he only got one Western Conference. Even Giannis played both sides of the ball, right? He goes after that conference final, dude. We're not talking about the Golden State Warriors when they had Kevin Durant. We talking about you can't get past. Nobody wasn't thinking that the Thunder was them niggas last year like that. Even they was the 1 seed. But they knew they was them. Right. Anthony Edwards put the belt to him, right? They let blow a 20-point lead, bro. You can't blow no 20-point lead and be on some Doc Rivers shit and think you're gonna do that. And
but remember, Jamal Murray was dealing with the injury too as well, and he was playing through.
Look, you said that, right? Jokic, our playoff record, he's 5-10 in the playoffs without Jamal Murray. That year that they won the finals, that year that they won. Go look back at that series before Chris Paul got hurt and DeAndre. They was beating the piss out of the Nuggets in that game 4. And then Chris Paul and DeAndre got hurt and they went on and won. And then they played a Miami Heat team without Tyler Hero. Bruce Brown, KCP. These dudes was balling out, hitting every shot when Jokic. And I know I watch it because you're a Lakers fan, and we watched that game. Jamal Murray was on a heater. Jamal Murray is the reason. You played a 40-year-old.
And shout out to Jamal Murray. You know what I'm saying? He's an all-star this year. Shout out to Jamal Murray.
And what happened? What happened when Jokic didn't play? He got swept 4-0 against the Suns. He couldn't do shit. He couldn't do nothing. I'm telling you, bro. I understand your points, and I do understand what you're saying, Sam. But when it comes down to it, and like I said, this dude ain't been to the Western Conference Final in 2 years because the semifinal, you can at least get it to the Western Conference. But you're not even getting back to the Western.
We gonna save it. Don't drop all your knowledge in your heater. We gonna say that for the debate.
I love y'all, bro. I love y'all, brother.
I love you too, bro. We see Laker Izzy, you know what I'm saying, just coming with the knowledge, you know what I'm saying, that you can only get in college. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Hey, shout out to Laker Izzy. Make sure you guys subscribe. You know what I'm saying? As you see to at Game Blitz. You know what I'm saying, with Izzy 6. You know
y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Zam Sports. Subscribe to Zam Sports, y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I appreciate the content. Thank you and your brother that's on the stage. Hey, I like what you're doing. Hey, this stuff make money in too, bro. It make money.
Thanks. But hey, I'm not in it for the money. I'm just in it because I just like talking sports, bro.
I know. Hey, but look, I'm glad that the playoffs is finna come up. I'm telling you, he put him on that back burner and put that nigga in that gumbo pot. It's over for him.
We gonna see. Yeah, we gonna see, bro.
All right, brother. Love y'all, brother, man.
I love you too,
Shalom.
man.
Love you too, man.
Shalom, fam. That's what's up, man. Shout out, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy, man.
Shout out Izzy,
man. Hey, so real quick, while I still got you up on here, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
check this out, bro. So this is the trades that happened, you know what I'm saying, literally today, bro, in February 3rd. Like all today.
Yeah.
Right. We got a lot of stuff that's going on, man. It's crazy. So you got the Memphis Grizzlies, right? And the Utah Jazz making some transactions. Says he got Jaren Jackson, right? The Utah Jazz received Jaren Jackson Jr., John Konkar, Jock Landale, right? A solid center, Vince Williams Jr., and the Memphis Grizzlies received Walter Clayton Jr., right? Point guard from Florida. Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Niang, right? Good 3-point shooter.
Yo,
And
exactly.
three future first round picks. That's key. Three
Damn.
future first round picks. Right?
Man, that's major, bro. Because now Memphis Grizzlies, they could be able to be able to rebuild, you know what I'm saying, and do something, you know what I'm saying. And Utah, man, I don't know what Utah is doing right now. I ain't
Well,
gonna lie.
actually, to be honest, I think Utah, I mean, they're still in the sweepstakes, to be honest. I really do think that they're going to end up tanking, or they're trying to tank in hopes to get AJ DeBonta, right? You pair AJ DeBonta, if you can get that pick with Jaren Jackson Jr., right? You still have, I want to say, Ace Bailey is still on the team. So
Yeah,
they got a
yeah.
lot of young pieces. I really do believe that the Utah Jazz are just at a rebuilding stage. It seems like they have been for a while, but they're at a rebuilding stage, and usually that can take about 5 years. But look at this though, Stephen.
Man,
Though Memphis Grizzlies, though we're talking about 3 future first round picks. They haven't even John Morant yet, and John Morant still wanting to trade.
man,
But you,
Niang is a big pickup, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially when Ja
Mm.
Morant, bro, him and Niang together, especially them spreading the floor, man, this is gonna be tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, if Ja Morant could be able to actually shoot 3-pointers, bro, it's a wrap. It's a wrap,
well,
bro.
see,
They can
that's
go
the
to the
thing.
second.
I don't even think John Morant, because as we look here, right? There's a lot of reports. Let me share this real quick. Where is it at? I seen some reports. Right here. Look at this. Let's listen to this real quick.
Morant. The only problem is,
Uh,
and people that I've checked in with today still see Sacramento being a viable landing spot for John Morant. The only problem is, John Morant camp, they see one avenue, and that avenue is the Miami Heat. They have been the team that has linked to John Morant for weeks now. It's the team that
Oh man.
and if they're willing to give him a big extension, like it seems like the indications right now are, that could be the trade that goes down. And
so, I've been hearing that a lot. I've been seeing it a lot. It's been a lot of reports that John Morant wants to go to Miami. It makes sense, bro. Think about it. Think about
Miami?
it.
Yeah,
The type
as
of
a matter
person
of
that
fact,
John
man.
Morant is makes sense.
Yeah, that hype behind them, because you know the Heat fans, bro. They love to they love to show out, bro. So shit, with John Morant
Show up
being
and
on the
show out.
Miami, that's a fact, bro. Sure, he go get major love over there. I ain't gonna hold you.
I guess
Probably
the
even more
thing
love
is
than
that,
Memphis.
who would you trade though if you're Miami to get the likes of John Morant? I mean, you got pieces like, I mean, you don't want to move Tyler Hero, right?
Yeah,
You got
fact.
Jaime Jaquez. I can see them moving Jaime Jaquez. But you're gonna want to at least keep your core. If you're
Yeah, bro.
Miami and you're getting John Morant, you're gonna want to at least keep Bam Adebayo, you know what I'm saying, and
Hey,
Tyler Hero. What you think?
yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know if they go. I don't even know if they gonna make that type of move, bro. Because Ja Morant is a major piece, so they gonna have to sacrifice somebody. I'm not gonna lie to you, or a first round pick, because Ja Morant, bro, they not just gonna give him up for no bust. So
No, not at all. At
we
all.
go see. We definitely
And
gonna
that's
see,
why,
man.
and I like what you just said. They're not going to give him up for a bust. And this is why I feel that this trade that Memphis made by getting rid of Jaren Jackson Jr., because clearly he's on a
Mhm.
decline, right? They
Yeah,
they
bro.
got him listed as a center, but when you really look at his game, he's a natural power forward, right? He's a natural power
Yeah,
forward. He's undersized as a center, to keep it
yeah, but
100.
I think he need to get in the gym, honestly, because he getting
So he
pushed
out of
around
shape,
out
huh?
there. Yeah, man, he getting pushed around out there, man. He a baby out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, too little. Get off me.
I feel that.
Like,
I
what's
feel
that,
that.
man? So shoot, he
But
definitely
look
need to
at
get
the
his
but
weight up.
Hey, but Memphis Grizzlies though, getting Walter Clayton Jr. Are you familiar with his game?
Walter Clayton, oh yeah, bro. Shit. He definitely remind me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I think that if he keeps going with his game, bro, he probably gonna be one of those for real. I ain't gonna
He
lie.
reminds me of Darren Williams. I don't know if you
Really?
remember. Yeah,
Why
that's what he
why
reminds
why
me of.
you Darren Williams out of all people?
They got a similar crossovers, right? real stationary, real quick, strong crossovers too. Both got strong shoulders.
Okay.
To able to push the, you know what I'm saying, the defender off when penetrating, you know what I'm saying, to the paint. Both of them got ups. They both got ups. A lot of people didn't know that Walter Clayton Jr. got ups, but he's got ups. Both of them, you know what I'm saying, had similar paths also in the NCAA tournament during their times. You know, you had Darren Williams with Illinois, right, who helped lead Illinois, you know what I'm saying, to national championship uh, and things of that nature, or lead them to the national championship. And then you had Walter Clayton, who did the same thing. He led Florida deep into the NCAA tournament, right? All on him.
Mm.
Even hit a
Yeah.
major game-winning three. So showing a lot of toughness, showing a lot of grit and clutch also in his game. So if potentially the Memphis Grizzlies lose John Morant, we
Right.
know that they're going to get a lot back. But the fact that you have a solid point guard in Walter Clayton Jr., that you
Yeah.
can grow with, and a George Niang, right, which we know is a solid shooter. All right,
Yeah,
and then
bro.
you got Kyle Anderson too, which can be a valuable veteran,
I'm not
right?
gonna lie. Like when you talked about Walter Clayton Jr.'s grit, bro,
Mhm,
it kind of reminded me
mhm.
of Tony Parker a little bit. You know,
I like that. I like
because
that.
Parker definitely he had that grit in him for sure. So I don't know. I kind of see a little Tony Parker in him too, low key.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely gonna have to see what's gonna happen, man. Definitely paying attention. I think all out though, it's a win. More for the Memphis Grizzlies dealing with that trade. What do you feel? Who got the win as far as dealing with the Los Angeles Clippers and the Cleveland Cavaliers? I did post that question in the chat. Right, you guys drop it. You know what I'm saying in the comment section. Let me know. You know what I'm saying. Who you guys think got the better of the trade? Let's get the thoughts. You know what I'm saying, of my brother Steven. Lafani Walker. What do you feel, bro? Who got the better of the trade?
Of course, the Cavaliers, man. What are we talking, man? We talking about the Cavaliers right now, bro. They definitely got one up on the Clippers, man. So we gonna see what they do with these new trades, bro. To be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna make a significant difference, but
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna make a little bit of difference, you know. So we'll see, man.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. So he's got Cleveland. Steven's got Cleveland getting the better of the trade, right? I think honestly, of course, Cleveland got the better of the trade because
Yeah.
you're never getting anything great coming from the Clippers. I'm just keeping it
Nah,
100,
nah, bro.
right?
Clippers ain't
It's
going
just
nowhere, bro.
it's just one of those organizations. They got a lot of things that they gotta change up. It's a Laker town, man. Right?
Fire
They're
the
the
coach
little
up.
brother. So when it
Fire the
comes to
coach
these
up.
type of deals, right? They getting little brother type deals, right? Another thing I wanted to talk about, right? Before we end this, right? As we see, you said that the Cleveland won the trade. So check this out. Since we're dealing with Cleveland, right? Before I even go there, also Chicago Bulls. All right, there was a trade between the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics. So look at this right here. All right, so you got. Let me scroll in a little bit so you can see. So you got the Boston Celtics. They received Nikola Vucevic, right,
Mhm. Yes, sir.
and a second round pick. All right, and Chicago receives Anthony Simons and a second round pick.
Anthony, you know what's so crazy about Anthony, bro? Like, I think my sister, she actually knew Anthony because they went to the same high school together.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty much how I know Anthony. But as far as Vucevic go, bro, I don't. Man, look, Vucevic, he gets out rebounded a lot, bro. I don't know what it is about him and his ups, bro, but he need to work on boxing out because I
He's
don't.
real. He's real heavier, right on the like from the waist below. So he's more heavy footed, right? You got a lot of centers that are like that are heavy footed. Enos Cantor was like that. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh yeah, bro.
Um,
Can't.
you got quite a few where they're 7 footers, right? 6'11", 7 foot, right? Very good size, maybe 230, 240, right? Type size, but they're not athletic because they're heavy footed.
That's true. That's why they gotta actually create space to where if they boxing out somebody, they could be able to box out even more. So as soon as they actually box out even more to create that space to where they could see the ball and they could be able to grab it with both hands instead of allowing their opponent to just go over them or get off of them. It's like, man, you got the strength to do it. You know what I mean? So I
Right,
don't
right,
know.
exactly.
It's
Hey man, we gotta ask these questions. So, let's end it with this since we've been talking about Cleveland. There's been other news, guys, that's been going on in Cleveland, right? Not just dealing with the trade, dealing with Harden, right? But we gotta at least talk about what's going on with my guy, right? My guy at 12. You know what I'm saying, right? They told me bust down my
oh,
AP, perfect timing, right?
right.
You know what I'm
You seen him
saying?
with the yes. The yes.
But look, hey, so as you guys know, the Pro Bowl, right, happened. Okay. And we know that Shador made the Pro Bowl. You got a lot of people. I don't know if you've been seeing Steven. A lot of people upset about 12 making the Pro Bowl, man. What's your thoughts on that?
He deserved it. Anytime somebody hating, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing.
Right.
Hey, and I feel like we're gonna see a repeated process of this for like another couple of years. It's gonna take a couple of years for the Shador haters to really understand that he's just that guy. There's really
Yeah,
nothing that you
bro.
can do about it, right? When your
Right.
dad is prime time, right?
Right.
Clearly, the top three, one of the top
All
three athletes
time.
of all time.
Yes, all time, bro. Like, what are we talking about, bro? There's no explanation at this point. Like, but people, they gonna want to hate, bro. They're gonna want to hate. And I just say, keep doing you, bro. Keep doing you as far as getting to what you need to get to, man. Because these people, man, I don't know what it is, but anytime a son of a major star decides to make it like this, it's like it goes downhill for him as far as popularity because a lot of people are like, oh, he's just another like his father. And it's like, nah, man, he's trying to create a name for himself. It's kind of like Bronny James, for instance, bro. Bronny James, he tried to make a name for himself, bro. And everybody like, oh, well, compared to LeBron, Bronny James can't ball like that. But then again, you see his development in the G League, and you like, hold up now, shoot, he could be able to do something. You
Now
know what
I'm
I'm saying?
I'm glad I'm glad you brought that up though, because we got to be honest about that. Even the development, and I don't want to go off subject, but the development of the G League, right? We see how he's balling out in the G League. Do
Exactly.
you think that if Bronny, like I feel personally, if he would have stayed in college, what he's doing in the G League right now, he would be doing in college, and
Mm,
his stock would go up to where if he came into the NBA draft later, right, his stock will be up, which will give him an opportunity to actually, get actual playing time in the actual NBA. I don't know. What do you
facts.
think about
I think that that's very true, man. I think that the hype got to them to where they was like, all right, well, we need this to happen so that way we can make history instead of, you know what? There are other players that are more deserving and he could be able to actually go to college and actually develop the way that he needs to be. So that way, as soon as he go to the NBA, like you said before, he could be at that right position. I think
And
that
that's why
the
so
hype
and
got
that's
to
and
them.
that's why I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's why I asked you that, because I don't really feel that situation compares to Shador, because when you look at Shador, right, he definitely went right through the process, right? He went
Hmm.
to high school. From high school, you know what I'm saying, he had all major college offers from Georgia, right, the likes of Georgia, FAU, right, Florida State, things of that nature, but decides to take the HBCU route, right? And
Hmm.
as I'm speaking on that, right, I want to bring this out too, right? For a lot of y'all who don't know, Shador Sanders is the first former HBCU quarterback,
Woo!
right, to play in the Pro Bowl since McNair, rest in peace, Aaron McNair, right, in
Yes, sir.
2020, in 2005. And
R.I.P.
so I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, the process dealing with Shador to where he's at now, right, doesn't compare to Bronny. So I feel like the treatment that Shador is getting is not
Mhm.
is not warranted, right?
No,
Because
no,
Shador and Bronny are getting the same treatment, but Shador actually proved himself, you know what I'm saying, in the college, where
that's true.
Bronny did not. And
Yeah.
Shador actually has accolades, put up numbers, has records, you know what I'm saying, as far as what he's done in college, where Bronny did not. We can even go back to high school, right? Where when I'm thinking about Sierra Canyon, as far as the high school that Bronny went to, I'm not thinking about Bronny James as the best players to come out of Sierra Canyon. I'm
Right.
automatically thinking about players like uh, um, uh, Amari Bailey. I'm thinking about
Yep.
Marvin Bagley. I'm thinking about, you know, these type of players. I'm thinking about you know, all these guys, right?
Yeah.
KJ Martin, you know, Kenyon Martin Jr., right?
They was able to
So,
ball for sure.
but these guys, you know, made it to the league. And so,
Mhm.
you know, Bronny's in the league too. He's still got a lot to prove. But I do feel that, you know, a couple of years in college, you know what I'm saying, would have been a better development for him. But I feel like
I
Shador
think so
coming
too.
out, he's ready, man. And let's look at
Oh
some of
yeah.
this because look, let's look at some of his highlights right on the Pro Bowl. So before we do that, as we see the haters,
George
right? You
Sanders,
got
who
somebody
is
saying that.
tipping balls into interceptions in the Pro Bowl. This man is so unlucky. No, he's not. No, what's
But
going
on, but let's
on,
look at.
man?
But I want you. Let's look at this though. This is the interception right here. Right. Let's look at this.
Oh,
Hold
he
on.
can still sling it. I
Okay,
know
now,
that.
The rookie Sanders.
name.
Oh no!
Tip.
But that's not even okay.
Did you see that clearly?
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. So that's. Hold on. Wait a minute, bro. So
He
they're
couldn't
talking
catch
about
that
him
ball,
being-
bro.
They're talking about him being unlucky because of that. Come
Yeah,
on.
that is unlucky.
No, bro. No, bro.
Let's look
We
at it.
can't
Let's
sit
go in
here-
slow mo. I want you to look at this. You mean to hold on? Watch this right here.
Come
Watch
on.
this.
Replay it. So
No, let's
as
stop.
you can see,
Look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Watch this. And I'm gonna zoom in. Hold on. Ball in hand, right there. That's the ball placement. You mean to tell me you can't catch that? And you're a Pro Bowl, right? Is this Jamar Chase?
no, bro. No.
Who is this
man.
guy?
This is man. But still, though, it's like. It's like we can't fuck up, bro. It's like it's like one bad mess up, bro. Now all of a sudden he unlucky, bro. It's like, bro, what? So this defines him. This defines him now.
Well, that's
we
what
saying that?
this is the thing. This is the thing, Steven. This is the type of things that we've been seeing this entire season since the draft. These narratives that are painted on him to try to make him seem as like he's a bad quarterback. But really, we're dealing with politics. Best believe there's politics when you're dealing with these games, right?
Facts.
In this here NFL, right?
That's
and
true.
the politics show that they got a lot of people it seems like a lot of people's kind of chiming in, you know what I'm saying, for the agenda to try to shut Shador down. But the good thing is that they can't do it because what does Shador do after every time he throws an interception? Comes back, man, and throws touchdowns.
He come back exactly.
Right? Comes back and throws touchdowns. Right? Now let's look at this. Right? Let's look at some of his touchdowns. This is his right. That was the interception. Let's look at his first touchdown.
Yeah, man, get that off the
There we
screen,
go.
man. Cause they playing games.
Is that balls again?
Now let me now keep in mind, guys, this is the Pro Bowl. It's not how it used to be. This is pretty much flag football, 7-on-7. All right. Right. These guys are out here having fun. Okay. You know, is it still in Hawaii? Steven?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I know that's where I went and tried out for American Idol, was on the field in Hawaii.
Oh,
Back
word!
in
I tried out for
2000,
American
yeah.
Idol too, bro. That's crazy.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Bet.
So let's look at this. All right, this is the first touchdown pass. I mean, you can tell guys are not really playing.
Right, they just having fun out there, bro. It's not serious, you know.
But then you got the internet that want to hype up these. Oh, he threw an interception on his first drive.
Straight pickup game, bro. Like what? This ain't even a real NFL game for real, bro. Like, come on, man.
Like, can the young man enjoy himself, man? Like, can the
Man.
kids enjoy themselves? Can these NFL players, right, who probably got bumped out of the playoffs, didn't make the playoffs, can they enjoy themselves, man, to end the season? Right?
I
This
don't
is the
think so,
thing.
bro. When you a major star like that, I don't think so,
Mhm.
bro. Everything is pressure now, so you got to be on
Right.
your piece of cues even in a pickup game. That's crazy.
Even in even in a pickup game, right? That's the point. Let's look at his second touchdown of the
Flag
night.
guard in there. Yeah, you know what I mean? I might go medium there.
Look at that.
Collins.
Oh, no flag guard in there.
That's
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You see how the announcers like, woo! They gotta hype it up.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, baby. See,
So
now
supposedly,
that's my man.
I think Shador ended up winning MVP. I want to say of his Pro Bowl, but he ended up the night with 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. As
Now,
you guys see,
now I need to ask you a question, right? Is that
yeah,
unlucky, Zamron? Is that
nah,
unlucky? Bet. That's all I gotta say, bro.
nah, it's not unlucky. It's not
That's what
unlucky.
I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. It's not unlucky.
People be
But we
talking.
gotta admit, we gotta admit, we've seen a lot of crazy scenarios that's happened this year with Shador, right?
Okay.
The Jerry Judy handing the pass, that beautiful pass, and just handing it off to the defender in the
So,
end zone.
so let
Uh,
me ask you this. Let me ask you this,
yeah,
right? Out of all the great quarterbacks, can you name one great quarterback that has not had a scenario to where you like, what was that pass?
no, I cannot.
Exactly. So he's still, even though he's a great quarterback, he's still developing into a monster. And we got to make sure that we know that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
No, you got a
still
point.
new to this whole thing, even though he's been doing it, but he's still new to this whole pro thing. So he gonna throw a little what was that, you know? But at the end of the day, when he making stuff like that happen, you can't sit here and tell me, man, that that's just unlucky, bro. That's
Yeah,
wild.
you got a great point. You got a great point. You got a great point. Well, we're gonna see. I'm rooting for Shador. Shout out to Shador Sanders, man, and the whole Sanders family. Shout out to Bucky, you know what I'm saying, who definitely does a great job, you know what I'm saying, keeping us updated on what's going on the inside, you know what I'm saying, because you got a lot of haters on the outside, but a lot of big news coming out of Cleveland, y'all. Right, this is another episode of Zam Sports, man. Shout out, you know what I'm saying, to my guest who came up on here today, first live, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to
Yes, sir.
Game Blitz Izzy 6. Make sure you guys subscribe to my guy,
Easy.
right? Game Blitz with Izzy 6. You understand? Make sure you guys also subscribe, you know what I'm saying, to my guy who's up on here right now, Stephen Afani Walker. He also has a music page. Make sure you guys subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for being up on here, bro. We got to do this more often, right? But
Most
we're gonna be
definitely.
back on
Much
here
love.
with this debate. We're gonna be back on here with this
Oh
debate,
yeah.
right?
Oh
Is
yeah.
Jokic who's the better? Who's the face of the league? Is it Jokic or is it SGA? We gonna talk about that.
Okay.
We're
Sure.
gonna
I'll
talk
be the
about that.
mediator. That'll be a good debate for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Shoot.
we might need a mediator for that, man. When me and
Yeah.
Izzy get to talking sports, man, with this topic, it's going in. It's going down. So make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe button, man. Right. Stay
Yes,
tuned for the
sir.
next episode. I appreciate y'all. As you guys see, right, from what it said, folks is feeling like Cleveland Cavaliers won the trade, man. Right, with the
Mhm.
James Harden trade.
Yes,
So I
sir.
appreciate y'all, man. This is another episode again of Zam Sports. We are out.